Home is where you live, and its purpose is to give you a warm, dry, maybe even nurturing environment to feel safe and secure. So why is such an important part of life so unobtainable for so many people? And why is there so little freedom and consciousness around building? This really bugged me, so I went to find some solutions. This is our home, Mother Earth, and she provides us with an abundance of building materials: wood, stone, clay. But to the trained eye, anything can be used for building. My mission was to find a home that was affordable, comfortable, simple and environmentally sound. And for that I didn't have to go far. Just down the road from us was a house that ticked all of my boxes.
Hey, where are we?
Oh, we're at Neil.
What kind of house is it?
Oh, well, it's at underground now.
Yeah.
This is all the same material, content, but
Bye.
This is the underground house. Built from earth and untreated timber, it will be a 140 square metre off-grid home, providing all its energy, passive heating, waste systems, and even a space to grow all your food. And all this easy on the wallet and built completely by unskilled labour. And this is Neil who's building this house.
Two weedy little Canadian girls and a skinny Australian dude. And we just nailed it. The end goal is to have it all above board, and to have it all, in place so that it can be a model for other people if they want to. It's another option, and it's not an option that costs you, I don't know what it is now, $1,400, $1,700 per square metre to build a frickin' house. I mean, this is going to be about a, give or take, 130 square metre house. 2-3 bedrooms, generous living areas, grow all my food inside in an indoor growing spectrum, and collect all its own water, manage all its own waste, produce all its own energy. That's the end goal, to be even less reliant on anything than this place is.
The design for the house came from 3 separate concepts. The first was a book called The $50 Underground House by Mike Ollier. The second was passive annual heat storage system, which is basically using thermal mass, which is the earth around the house, to store the heat from summer and use during the winter. And then the third concept was the indoor growing spectrum, which had been borrowed from the Earthship design.
As far as I know, I'm the only person to have combined all these 3 things anywhere. I've been digging and digging and digging. No one's kind of linked all the 3 things together. We'll see what happens.
It seems like a huge undertaking, but almost the whole building has been built by people just keen to help out and learn in return for food and somewhere to stay. Everything, right until the floors being put down, had been done by people with no real experience of building.
All woofers and such, all untrained, unskilled, I won't say unskilled, but untrained in the carpentry and stuff like that. A lot of the people that came out had never actually used a hammer before. So that first stage 1 took about 2 weeks, working a minimum of 3 hours a day and a maximum of 6 hours a day, or if the surf was good, we'd just disappear and go surfing for the day. It was very relaxed, and it was a good environment to work in. Everyone was happy. The primary goal was everyone had to be safe. That was the whole thing. Nothing we did was unsafe, because technically everyone's here on holiday and no one wants to get hurt.
One of the biggest problems in conventional building, apart from the cost, is the waste and pollution. So one of the most impressive things about this project was that it was pretty much waste and chemical free.
So this is all our waste to date. There's a few bits of stragglers here and there, but primarily we've got all our plastic left over here. Then a box full of bits and pieces, plastic bags, old nails. We try to recycle as many nails as we can, just by banging them out straight again and then just pre-drilling a hole and using them. All the timber will go back into a fire. All the plastic, all the excess PVC that we've got, we put on top of the drainage to stop it filling up with clay once we get that in. So we've got a lot of off-cut to come off here, off-cut to come off here, and then it'll just get overlaid on top of the drainage system. It's just a naturally falling drainage system. Runs down here, and that'll be the same as our grey water system, which will run side by side with that. And that'll just get reintegrated back into the gardens. And
I was pretty inspired by the indoor growing spectrum as well, a concept borrowed from the Earthship design, where plants are grown in the home, giving health benefits to the occupants and wastewater to the plants.
I'll admit we're not the most advanced gardeners, but we're definitely dabbling, and we're definitely trying to improve our whole situation with the growing and what we can do and such. Yeah.
But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. The biggest problems coming from the council, who've struggled to get their head around Neil's philosophies of an off-grid home that's cheap to build and kind to the land.
They initially were giving me a hard time. They were coming around to my place and looking in windows and underneath houses and doing what they willy-nilly, that they owned the place. So I kind of rang the police and said, what's the story? Are they allowed on my property? And they said no. So next time he came out, I challenged him about it. I said, look, you're not allowed on my property. As far as in the eyes of the law, you're trespassing. If you come out to my property again without written some sort of letter to say you're coming out, and me being here, I'll be prosecuting. And he turned around and said, well, you better check with your lawyer because we're allowed to. I said, well, in the eyes of the law, you're not. So, and they're the ones I'm going to ring, not my lawyer. So he came out, and I think he'd been chewed out because he was a completely different man. He basically said, look, unless you're going to have it as an abode, a house, if it's a shed or a workshop, it doesn't need to have any sort of anything. And so it's a workshop at the moment because we're still working on it. But I told him straight up, I said, look, eventually it's going to be a house. I'm going to go get engineers reports done, geotech reports done. I'm going to get the Homestar people involved because I want to get it rated. I want to get it so that it can be a standard can be written on it, and people can do it because it's a really simple way of doing it, and it's really cheap to do it.
I didn't really want to leave Neil's. It just felt so calm and grounded and organic to be surrounded by so much earth. Eventually he kicked me out, but as soon as I got home I picked up my spade and started digging my own hole to live in.
Anybody can do it. Just got to have a bit of an idea about bits and pieces and the actual drive to want to do it yourself.